found it to be my father found it to be even more accurate than I thought, and it's really been a saving grace for me just to know that there is no fact until I find it. When I'm looking or researching, I grab a thread and I pull. And I go into either I'm exhausted or I have exhausted it. And trust me, it takes a long time for me to get exhausted. I'm talking weeks. I can get on the topic for weeks. Easily. Months. Easily. As long as it piques me, I'll dig as far as I can dig. So, with that being said, that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to start it off for the new year. Everything that I bring to the forefront, I want to be building blocks for us growing together and learning. And I would like, excuse me, I would like, hopefully, for each lesson to expound off of the last one so that we're building. So, like, say if I say, like now, I'm saying perception is everything. I don't want it to be like, okay, I watched the lecture, I dug it, it was deep or it was interesting, and then now when you get to the next lecture, you start over. No. I want you to be in the next lecture or go back into the last lecture and hear something that may pique you one way or the other, or maybe something that you dislike, or maybe something that you think is a non-truth. And then maybe the perception is everything process will allow you to go deeper and either find something that you can bring to the God pointed out so that I can look at it and understand it, or maybe you go somewhere and say, hey, you know what? Perception is everything. Let me twist this thing a little bit and look from a different lens. I want fact to be what you feel a fact is. But with that being said, you have to be diligent and honest. Like I told you, I exhaust the topic. You have to do the same. Don't find the first thing that agrees with what you believe and run with it. Exhaust the topic. Look at both viewpoints. And if you have a viewpoint you favor, once you're done with that, go read what the opposing viewpoint is and dig into that. You may find something even more interesting than what you thought was on your side. Because we're here for the best version of reality we can get. This is the Matrix, baby. It's all an illusion. But it's your illusion. So you can steer it. You can guide it. You can claim it. That you are in a moment. You are in a beautiful time. You are in a historical moment where you are part of a world that is changing right in front of you. There's heinous things going on. There's a potential crooked secret societies or governmental things. There's talks of Illuminati. There's talks of Masonry. There's talks of government shutdowns. I mean, there's so many things going on. There's talks of liberation in other countries. There's modern day slavery going on. I mean, there is so much going on in this time, and you're a part of it. And you don't care about none of it. You just want to do you and take care of yours. That's selfish. Why wouldn't you care? Why wouldn't you want to participate in a historical moment? Why wouldn't you want to be a part of the change in force that made this place better for that family that you claim you care so much about? Because when they find out you didn't know nothing but how to get money, and then we don't even get enough money to like street level cat. Like if you see 100,000 on the streets, you blessed. Like to actually be hustling, have 100,000 to yours, and still doing your thing. Now, to actually have a couple 100,000. Do you know how, like realistically, y'all? You know how many few street dudes actually cuff a couple 100,000 and survive and live to tell about it, it's not what people may think. And a lot of people who you think is really having it, like, it don't really be like that, man. I'm just telling you. I've been to the super high level on the streets. And like, when the people come, you'll eat up a couple $100,000 on lawyer fees. So let's think about that. If you think it's so glorious, think about the street dudes you know that you think is like really popping, that you really revere like he really popping. And ask yourself honestly, do you honestly think that dude got 300,000? $250,000? Take it a step further. How many of them got $500,000? How many street dudes you think have honestly reached $500,000? That they kept, not that they was able to juggle. I'm talking about had $500,000 put up and then had what they was working with on the streets and was still climbing. That's not happening every day like that. You got the hoods in every city full of drug dealers. Most who never see $100,000 and spend every day trapping, hustling, grinding, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not down talking it. It's my world. But what I'm saying is, your whole existence consumed, and you never even seen $500,000, which is not even close to what you would call money. You can't leave $500,000 down for generations. So if the average African American is a street hustler, and the average street hustler never sees $500,000, then it's safe to say that the average African American will never pass anything down to anyone. Now, this is all just my analysis, but if you listen, if you listen to my analysis and you honestly just look at the way of the world around you, you ain't got to look at the whole world. Look at your hood, because it's the same. I've been all over the country. And for the ones, I got a couple cats in mind right now from my very own city that is like really revered as having it. That they had all the flyest whips and all of that. But I honestly, in my heart of hearts, you can't pay me to believe that any of them have $500,000. I don't believe it. And I'm almost positive I've only met maybe one or two dudes, personally, street hustlers, that touched $1 million from the streets, which is no freaking money. So let's just say benefit of the doubt. And say $1 million. Let's just say you could say, if there was, which clearly there is, if there was I'll give you an easy number. If there was 50 million street hustlers in the world, 50 million street hustlers, how many of those 50 million street hustlers, let's just assume, put the whole world in a bubble and say, for the whole world, there's 50 million street dudes, which there's way more than that. How many of those 50 million do you think ever seen $1 million? Not very many. So what's the point to all this? You're so wrapped up in an existence that is a nowhereville. Yet you refuse to educate yourself on how to seek interest, care, or concern for something bigger. We all, you know how many times I hear people saying, especially now because it's such a commercialized saying, and this is such an internet era, everybody's a king and queen now. Then you hear people, and I say it sometimes, just trying to show love. But I'm analyzing as I'm speaking to the family right now. We quick to call each other king and queens, and then you hear me refer to God. What up, God? I say God all the time, referring to, because I know we come from the God essence. But if you could so quick to call yourself a king and queen, how come nobody wants to behave like royalty? The king was the smartest dude around, or he couldn't have been king. None of this puppeteering you see with the governmental system. We talking about a real live king. Royalty is inherited, passed down. So, if you was heir to the throne, your entire existence was groomed towards teaching you how to sit on the throne. Education. With no games. With no frolic. Business. So, if we all so quick to say that we descend from kings and queens, when do we get to the royal behavior? And when do we decide to look into what that even means? Past that, you don't know nothing about being black. You could tell me we come from Africa and we was kings and queens. That's what the average black person could tell you. What else you got for me? Nothing. Perception is everything. And then you want to be pro-black and you want to be Christian. In my opinion, that's impossible. It's impossible, in my opinion, to be a pro-black Christian. The two terms defy each other. Because Christianity, in its current phase as a Western religion, as it has been hijacked, is not that. You cannot be pro-black and be a Christian. I don't believe. I don't even believe you can be pro-black and believe in Jesus. I don't believe that. If I'm wrong, then let's talk about it. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is what we're going to deal with today. Originally, I told y'all, boy, I ain't playing with you. I got these notes on. I'm finna put these notes on you while I jump into I probably can't show you out a label because I don't want no white folk trying to sue me, trying to talk about I don't know. But there's a health bar. Excuse me. We drank fire though. Got my H2O. Even though they sell us everything that's free. Y'all know everything about that? Like, they sell us water, y'all. I know man's buy it too, I ain't saying nothing. But, fam, they got like 1,000 different brands of bottled water. When nigga, it's water. Like, okay, like, how come this water tastes better than that water? Why is there ingredients on the back of the bottle of water? It's water. It should be nothing. Where the ingredients part is, it shouldn't be nothing. They got sources, sanctuary, spring. They lie. I don't believe it. Either way it go. The bar was fire. Back to my notes. I think about like land. It just grow from God. Or whatever, like it's land, it's just there. People just put fences up, say it's mine, and say you can't come on it. These people weird. Look now. What we're gonna do is, like I said, perception and analytics. 10 things that need to be put under the microscope in Christianity. 10 things that need to be put under the microscope. Now, I'm going to pull these 10 things out. I'm about to get busy and go to work on y'all. And a lot of you Negroes gonna have every excuse on this wretched planet for why I just put this work on you. I'm finna put it right here though. It ain't no, you can't, I don't know. Y'all be tripping. Number one, I really already touched on that, but let's go in again. I'm gonna make it brief too though. The accuracy of creation. Because as I said, Christianity is about 2,000 years old. The work they put into making it official, about 4 years, 4,000. I mean, so we talking about 6,000 years. I mean, like, impossible. There was 13 dynasties before Christianity. Sometimes I don't know what to say. And if you believe that the world is only 2,000 years old, then you probably still believe in Santa. I don't know what to say to y'all sometimes. Let's get busy, man. All right. We're going to deal with this dude right here. Just because sometimes I don't know what to do with y'all. All right. Let's have it. Now they say, okay, so how old is Christianity? This is an article right here. I got articles for y'all and everything. Check this out. All right, it says, how old is Judaism? How old is Christianity in comparison to Judaism? Judaism existed prior to Christianity and is in fact the third main Abrahamic faith. Judaism is arguably the core belief system through which Christians and Muslims were born. That's weird. This due to Abraham being viewed as the first Hebrew and therefore father to the Jewish people. So as you can see, answering how old is Islam and how old is Christianity leads us to answering how old is Judaism. This is also where we start running into problems historically, records being fuzzy, documents contain contradicting accounts and such. Discovering the age of Judaism is a lot more difficult. Why so much mystery in y'all little religion? It's just so confusing. And y'all gonna say because God works in mysterious ways. You ain't lying. He don't make sense a lot. Anyway, so Christianity comes from Judaism, according to this. And I personally think that these fairy tales be so interesting. I just don't even see, you know what, sometimes you can't always say what you want to say. All right, anyway, Christianity began in the 1st century AD. Let's call it 30 AD. As a Jewish sect, but quickly spread throughout the Greco-Roman world. Greco-Roman. So you little Africans is following a religion that spread throughout the Greco-Roman world, despite early persecutions of Christians under the Roman Empire. So now, this is where it's gonna get weird. So they used to hate the religion, and somehow they became the chief ambassadors of it. I wonder how that happened. And you Africans sure do let the Romans tell y'all what to do a lot. Christianity is the world's biggest religion, about 2.1 billion followers worldwide. It is based on the teachings of Jesus Christ, who lived in the Holy Land 2,000 years ago. Wait till we get to do it. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. But it says right here, it says right here, 2265 Egypt Sumar was, okay, 22. I'm gonna let y'all read this. I'm gonna blow it up so you can see. Hold on, let me get it together for y'all. The writing kind of small on here. All right, but anyway, you can trace the not be ruled by till BCE, Alexander the Great. Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So you got Alexander arriving in 332 BCE. Is that right? I can't read this. This is why I hate notes. Alexander the Great arrives in 332 BCE. It says, end of Egypt's glory. So, if you got Alexander the Great arriving in 332 BCE, you got, that was his arrival into Egypt. So you got domination of the African people in 332 BCE. Next thing you know, you fast forward, the same people that dominated in 332 BCE happen to now run the largest religion in the world. And I just told you had all those people in it. Y'all have to forgive me for taking so long, but it's almost 5 a.m. and I couldn't see. I had to blow it up for you. But either way it go, this is what I'm trying to say. This is stuff, this is Google. This is not even real research. I just cared enough to push a few buttons in Google to find out that the same people who first ran into Egypt, well, not first, but they tell you about Alexander the Great. Wasn't much great about him. Invaded in 332 BCE. The same people that ran things then control the world now. Under the under the religion of Christianity. And you personally don't think it's nothing wrong with that. Because you didn't watch Indoctrination, where I showed you how they tricked the shit out you and put the Bible in front of you. You didn't care. That's why I have to do something like this again, where I can't even read my notes, just to try to bring y'all some information that y'all could have had one lecture ago. But I doubled back on you because I knew you wasn't gonna have it. I know my people. I know how y'all work, baby. Don't trip. I got this. Now, here's the problem. Hold on, let me get this up out of here. All right, y'all. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me get this thing up out of here so I can get back to getting busy, baby. Now, what the question was, or the creation should be questioned. And the reason why is because the time frame that the Bible gives you for creation, you can Google civilizations that were in full boom way before the time frame that the biblical accounts give you. That right there, strike number one. If the time frame in which the book that says this is how it all happened is off, then it puts the book in question. So anybody with a moment's worth of looking can see that this religion did not become an actual religion until Constantine made it one. You find the first actual official merging of church and state when the Emperor Constantine took over the kingdom and made Christianity the official religion. Now keep in mind, this is the same group of people that's been beating the brakes off the Christians left and right. Now what he said is he looked to the sky, and y'all gonna get all dewy-eyed, and y'all gonna, especially white folk, y'all gonna believe this, and y'all gonna say, see, he said he looked into the sky, and he had a vision the night before. I yawn every time I tell the story. Excuse me. He had a vision the night before that that the Lord told him that if he put the cross on his shield, he would be victorious the next day. So he was fighting the boy Maximus or something like that. They both was banging to see who was gonna be number one. I'm pretty sure the dude's name was Maximus. Let me get it up for y'all because what the hell did I take these notes for? I'm pretty sure it was Maximus. They both had rights to the throne, but Rome was divided into two sections, and so Constantine was given rule over one portion. The other dude had rule over the other. They was gonna bang it out and see who was the top dog, and this is what Constantine, as he tells the story, he says that he had a vision from Jesus. He converted that night, allegedly, and he was victorious. Now let's deal with the facts. The facts are that the army he was facing was twice his size, and he really didn't have a chance in hell at winning. And then all of a sudden, the night before, there's this merge with Christianity, and then he beats the brakes off an army that was twice his size. If I'm just putting my thoughts in there, let's just do a hypothetical thing. Let's hypothetically say he made a backdoor deal with some Christians to get some assistance. And if I get that assistance, we'll wake up Christians in the morning. That seems plausible to me. A guy goes into a fight that he normally has no chance of winning. He shows up to that fight supporting a religion that he has always, him and his people of his kind, have always detested. After making that conversion, He wins the battle. Now, for all of you people who are going to say that it was divinity and it was God, and the only reason why, well, not the only reason, but the reason why I'm going to give you and say, excuse me again, the reason why I'm going to give you and say again that we can't rock with that, or that I'm not going to rock with that, simply is because, well, a lot of people didn't rock with it. He didn't change very much of anything after the conversion. He kept the same pagan celebrations. He still participated in sun god worshiping services that were of the norm during that time amongst his people. I mean, he didn't change very much. And here's another fun fact about Constantine that I want to quote it because I heard about it from I believe I heard about it from, maybe it was Dick Gregory. I'm pretty sure it was Dick Gregory, but he actually had like damn near everybody killed. Dude didn't play. Where's the? Hold on, y'all give me 1 second to find this because this was kind of. I wanted to read it. Here it is right here. Wait a minute. I wanted to read it in its exactitude. Yeah, give me 1 second. I got it right here. Okay, here it go, right here. Okay. Let me see. That's not the one. Hold on 1 second, y'all. This is my fault. I know I got it though, and I want y'all to see how this dude was ruthless, man. I'm gonna find it. But what it was he had like his stepmom, his brother, his wife. Dude had everybody killed. He really was like vicious. So what the general thought was, if you have converted to a religion of peace, and now you are the new face of this religion, what's up with the murder spree? Dude was merciless. He was vicious. And I'll just make another connection. I find it interesting that essentially some even say he's the first pope, because he was the overseer of Christian problems, and if there was a problem in a church or if there was something going, he was the overseer of the dispute, and he was the one that settled it and had the final say. I mean, dude was pretty much became the face of Christianity. So if you take on that stance, what's up with the brutality is what was the general thought for a lot of people. So a lot of people during that time period didn't buy the whole conversion thing. They looked at it more as a political ploy. You also have to understand that though persecuted for a long time, Christians were huge in numbers. So Christianity was a growing faith. So now you got this faith that seems to be continually growing and building, and it's starting to become a thorn in your side from a political standpoint. So now it could appear to me that if I had to equate, I'm just getting stuff ready for y'all for that's the thing I hate about the notes. Sometimes I got them all spread out. I can't always find what I'm looking for. So y'all know I'm just going off the dome. But if I had to give him credit for anything, I would say he was a visionary. I would say, if I'm just analyzing from that standpoint, I think I would say he analyzed the faults of his predecessors, and he was able to foresee the future enough to see that to continue this thing with the Christians, he would end like all the rulers before him, dead and didn't make a difference. So I think all the evidence points to him striking a deal with the higher ups in that religion and reaching some type of conclusion that allowed him to fake a conversion and bring the masses in. And now, to anybody who's listening to this and may feel like I'm reaching or feel like this is far-fetched, you have to do some history and understand the times and just the way things work. A lot of rulers, lots of rulers, have switched religious practices for political purposes. What do you think United States presidents do? They're not really Christians. I mean, they say they are. A lot of them attend mass barely, but it's more so for a show of face. But most rulers, or not most, well, a lot of rulers all throughout history have switched religious practices for political reasons. That's the way it goes. So that's not unheard of. And I just think he foresaw that that was the best move for Rome, and that's what he did. He shifted gears and kept it moving. Because, like I said, the evidence leads to him not changing any of his practices or belief systems. And if you fast forward, like I made the point earlier, the same people that was running things back then subsequently own the religion that is running things right now. And we just happen to live in a country that is considered a Christian country, and we are governed by a set of rules called the Constitution. Constantine is the one who put together the Council of Nicaea, which is more popularized than most people know about. There were several council meetings having to deal with all types of stuff, especially surrounding religion and which direction the governing body was going to move in. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. At the Council of Nicaea is where they discussed lots of things, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But to surmise my first point, and I think I've done enough to at least just make you take a peek. There's a lot of things that well, we got a list of 10. We've been at it an hour already, and I had only planned on being here an hour. Like I said, right now for me, most of y'all is cozy sleeping in the sack, but it is 5:04, and I am the only one in my home awake, bringing y'all this heat. So with that being said,